maybe I should on this occasion, because there are three of us, and obviously we're using a little more bandwidth, I'm assuming. Should I just go Wi-Fi or not?
Well,
And
currently your
maybe
your
drop in
video
and
is
out.
also frozen and your audio is
Yeah,
choppy. So
I'd say the answer is always Wi-Fi, if you can.
well, you haven't tried to.
Like,
We're live.
Oh, we're live now. Oh yeah.
oh,
Who we
well, in that
talk-
case, I'm going to go Wi-Fi then. So I'll see you in a moment. But I will be in and out then, if that's the case. But thankfully, you guys are way more interesting than me. So I'm going to just say goodbye and then come back to you in a moment. So,
Okay, he's gonna pop out and then come back in.
Yeah, sounds good.
What we're on? I mean, it's too late now. But one of the things usually when before we go live, and this has come up with a couple of breweries. I'm almost certain it's not going to come up with yourself. Yep. No. But one of the things that I always ask, or I try to ask the breweries is there anything that you want me, any topic that you want me to avoid that might be like a taboo topic, because every now they're like, okay, let's not talk about hiring practices.
That's anything. Yeah, no, I don't have any hiring practices, and I don't have any HR, and I don't have too much.
We got no secrets.
Anything to worry about. So you can ask me about anything, and I will tell you the answer. And then if someone tells me I shouldn't have said that,
well,
because
I'm actually immediately jealous because I'm seeing a piano stool, a drum set, and a guitar in the back. And is this a green screen?
No, that's just a lot of crap that sits there, and I don't play anywhere near as much as I should.
Well, okay, because you're focused. See, this is what happens from being a focused individual with a good thing going. Yeah,
and I'm horrible at all instruments. I just enjoy them, and I've always had them around.
Ross, I'm going to guess here. One of the reasons why James doesn't have that much time to play music, maybe not as much as you and I do, is no, I beg your pardon, you don't have any time either because you are so busy. I read his biography, and no wonder he has no time to play music. Like, flying planes and bringing up three kids in there. I mean, there's not a lot of time for and running a full-time brewery. So
we both did our homework. What's happening here? We never do this.
Yeah, geez. Yeah. It's been a few years. I had a little slowdown last summer, so I haven't been flying in a while. But I'm getting back into it soon. But yeah, full-time job. And this is the Party Time Brewing is the side hustle. So and the YouTube page is a side hustle that I don't do near enough that I'd really enjoy doing more. But yeah,
people are
stuff happens.
What's going on?
I'm ready.
It's 7:58, and there's no rules. What we do, we all try to either crack one, or I'm not sure if you've got cans or if you've got tap or grouse or grinders, but we.
I got cans downstairs. I didn't have time to run down and grab them yet, though. So what are you going with first?
Well, it's your choice as well. What we usually go from a lower alcohol percentage up to the highest one, but we don't have to. I mean, if you want to tell a story with what we've got here, we can tell a story.
I forget what I gave. What I give you, a lager, and then the Mod X, the Party of Mexis, and then the double.
We've got the Rap Party DIPA. We've got the Pilsner, the Best Bitter, and the Party at Mexi's.
Okay, so we're starting with the Pilsner. Is that the kind of?
That is the 4.2. So yeah.
Okay,
oh no, wait.
Do
you want to start with the Pilsner? We can do that.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll just do a quick transition out and then go grab a beer.
May I just ask straight away? Are we doing all four?
I promised I wouldn't finish the whole. I promised my wife I wouldn't drink the whole thing. But he offered 4. Okay, I had 3, and I said, yeah, we usually do 3. And then he comes out and he says, oh, but I've also got this double IPA. And I went, put it in the bag. We're taking that one. You don't say no to a double IPA. Oh, my. Oh, good. It just let me know that.
I'm going to probably then have to put some kind of lid on them. And, oh, you are? Rebecca's right here. She's going to help me. Yes.
Oh, lucky you! I'm gonna have to try to shove these in my wife's direction later.
Rebecca's going to help.
What were we saying? Were we going with? It doesn't matter to me if you go with all four.
We're gonna try. We're gonna make a staunch effort of it. But I like your idea of starting with the Pilsner, so go light to dark. That makes sense as well.
See, if I can get a good sound bite for opening the can.
Why did I lean in? I have headphones. Anyway, well, okay. I'll start proper. It's 8:00. I am Ross. Joining me, as always, was my co-host Ian. But tonight we are joined by James of Party Time Brewing, and the three of us are attempting to drink Nova Scotia Dry tonight. And we get to talk about Party Time Brewing. I've got the hat. I'm in the place. We're cracking open our first one already because we've got some beers to get through. And the first one up, A, welcome, James, and B, thank you for getting us these beers. And we're starting with the Pilsner.
That's my invisible can there. That's a good one. But yeah, let's go with the Pilsner first.
Works.
And by the way, it's great to be here and meet you, Ross, and I guess Ian's invisible too.
Apparently,
it inspires better though when we go.
Ran out for something else.
Yeah.
Is this the one that was featured on your most recent YouTube video, or is that a newer recipe?
The one I brewed on the video was like, that's when I entered possibly the Pilsner in the, I think it was the before I started the brewery, the big or not big, I think it was the Smokehouse. I think it was their competition. Maybe not. It might have been the I don't know. It was a homebrew competition anyway, and It was from like a year ago, but I had the footage, so I released it. Recipe's probably fairly close to what I have at the brewery. If anyone cares about the recipes, if any homebrewers want to brew the recipes, if you look at my YouTube page, they're pretty much the same. I changed a little bit of stuff since, or maybe changed water profiles, but if anybody cares to brew the same as me, then you can do that. Or another company wants
you go through the recipes. You've got all the ingredients right there, because I was watching it today again in preparation, and in some small preparation. I was understanding a little bit of like how it was going on a few of the words, but I have yet to try to make my own beer. Ian makes his own beer, and
nice.
My wife got me a kit for Christmas, and we're trying to find some time to get together to put that kit on. So we're ready to go. We just it's the free time thing that doesn't quite hit.
Regardless. Yeah, it doesn't exist really.
Yeah.
It's an Irish stout, isn't it, Ross?
Yes, the kit that I've got. So
good choice.
I mean,
so nice.
I don't know what's easy to start with. She just sort of picked one. Actually,
it's harder to fail on the stronger tasting ones.
Ooh, okay, that's good to know.
The stronger, I used to find like I'd have trouble with some of the homebrew recipes, but when you get into like the porters and the stouts, like they always come out as good beers. So you can't really screw them up unless you really, really try.
I absolutely dig the color scheme. It's very vibrant. It's very 80s. It's sort of like Gem and the Holograms kind of style. The pink,
nice.
The very Easter pastel blue and yellow. But the Party Time Pilsner is rocking in at 5% ABV, and it says in the can, this German-style Pilsner is a fantastic bevy for enjoying out in the sun on a hot afternoon. What's the difference between your standard lager and a Pilsner, you ask? God, we ask this every single week. The Pilsner is a lot more hop-forward than many other lagers and has some gentle, spicy notes. I almost read that word very wrong. If you usually drink super hoppy beer and want something a bit more crushable, this one will be a great transition. That answers so many questions.
Yeah, I try to make it make sense on there, but I just don't really ask me what the. I keep trying to figure out what the difference between a porter and a stout is, and that's a hard one.
Well,
tough, isn't it?
Whenever we get a Pilsner, I often look it up. And the internet's answer to what's the difference between a Pilsner and a lager is, well, one's bottom fermented and one is top fermented, and I think that doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah, well, I think they're both technically lagers. I think the Pilsner, I may be way wrong on this, but from my understanding, they're both lagers. Just the Pilsner's a lot more hop forward than the standard like American lager. I guess when you say lager, I'm always assuming people are talking like American lager, like just the plain old.
Yeah.
Adjuncty Budweiser, something clean and drinkable.
I think my brain has usually said a Pilsner is just a lager spiced up, with a little bit of a personality. It's got a little bit of a kick of any kind.
I find that also with the Kolsch's. They're so similar as well. Even some pale ales, you're thinking they're almost discernible. You throw a blonde in there that isn't slightly hazy. If it's a clear one, you're like, I'm struggling. Not that they don't have their own individual flavors, but they're very difficult to qualify when you're drinking them. You couldn't say that is a distinctive lager. That is not. That's a Pilsner. When you were talking about the stouts and the porters there, James, that are often crossing the borders, throw in a dark lager with a caramel and a chocolate profile, and you're like, I can't tell the difference between a really good dark lager and a porter. And they're that close.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Yeah, and I poured this one in a Belgian glass, but like as I can see, like quickly, even with the tall pour, I could work on the head retention. That's one of the things I guess I gotta get going there. But the carbonation tastes good to me.
Oh, really?
I don't know why I'm already starting ripping off on my own beer, but
look at that. That's smart. No, mine's sitting pretty. I'm digging this. Did I open the right one? I opened the Pilsner, right?
oh yeah, all the other ones are darker. So
Okay. Everyone's looks a little oranger and cloudier than mine.
I was about to say exactly the same thing. This looks a little cloudier than I'm used to from a Pilsner. Is there?
Oh yeah, no, it probably is, or maybe I don't know if it did any settling at the bottom. Mine's like it's like off. Yeah, the first bit of the pour was pretty good, and then when I dumped the last bit in it, so there might be a little bit of settling. All my beers non-filtered, so
I have these tiny sissy glasses, so the whole thing doesn't fit in it. So maybe that's where I'm getting the advantage.
Glasses is so clear, just go. You can see everything behind it.
Mm.
Anyway, it
smells a little fruity, actually.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm looking forward to this.
Little fruity.
Yas.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the when I'm tasting beer, my palate's not overly refined, so I'm starting to be able to pick out the like the nice notes of something that went wrong with beer, like when I'm tasting around. But
yeah, there we go.
I have a hard time picking up the fruitiness and some of that.
There's the
little
glass.
esters.
It is slightly more hoppy than you would expect from a lager, from your straightforward lager, for sure. There's a little. It's not getting on the IPA league, but it's certainly pale ale, single malt IPA-ish without the turn your face inside out the appeal that a smash can have. This is and it's got a bit of fruitiness to it.
A little bit, yeah. Mine, I don't know. Mine's a little yeasty.
Bit bitter as well.
Just a tiny bit.
Becca. Pilsner, a German-style Pilsner.
Yeah, I don't know if I've. I guess I need to buy a few more. Get around and buy a few different Pilsners and kind of compare around and see how it stacks up. I know I like this one, but it's nice to.
I don't think
it's nice to be on style, but that's not the most important thing. I don't think.
I don't think I've landed on, and we've tried a number of Pilsners, but I haven't landed on one that I can sort of say, yes, that's the Pilsner that I'm looking at, that I'm looking for. This is my benchmark. Everything else is not quite up to this one. Where every little one is always kind of it's gone in this direction, and it's kind of a bit more in this direction, or it hasn't quite. But I feel like I'm slowly finding bits that I like from each Pilsner, but I haven't found one that is my quintessential, that's the one.
There's the Pilsner.
Who does?
Hmm?
Oh, I thought you said someone has a good one.
Oh, no, for me, Pilsner, I guess not the German Pils, but, well, I guess they're close sometimes, but like the Tuscan Falls I found has a really, really nice Czech Pils.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've tried that, like on tap, on like they got the Luca tap or whatever. I may be saying that wrong, but they got the side pull. And they pour a nice one at their tap room there.
What hops are you throwing in these then, James, if they are the German-style Pilsner?
Just one moment here. I got to double check. This one I brewed months ago again. I should know it right off the bat, or I should have had this ready, but let's...
That's okay. If I shouldn't be throwing...
No, that's totally fine. I don't mind. I don't mind checking it out and making sure I give you the right answer. Let's see.
Yeah.
So close.
While you're doing that, Ross.
Yeah, with these Tettnang hops. So it's just basically it's just a little bit of Magnum to bitter, like just a clean Magnum, and then Tettnang hops, kind of mid boil for that. And it's only for a let's see, a few. Yeah, it's about 20, 28 IBUs a Magnum, and then just a few mid hops, another few IBUs in that.
Very crisp.
We had the Soul Intent Pilsner from Tuscan Falls. Is that the one?
Yeah, I don't remember the. I don't remember one. It was Czech Pils.
Yep. I think we had that back in February, and I do recall. I haven't disliked anything from Tuscan Falls yet, but I thought that was quite something.
Okay, nice.
Oh, that is. We did do the Keats one. Cool.
It's closing in on an IPA territory. I'm feeling. I don't know about you, Ross.
A little.
It's closing in. If I could just use that terminology, it does have. There's a fair amount of hops going on, but it's very crisp. It's full of flavour, without crossing over, thankfully, into the. Oh, I did notice though as well, James, that you really are a big fan of the IPA, and especially the double IPA, which is really exciting because if you're a big fan of the double IPA, Ross and I don't want to start talking about that one too much, of course, because that's going to come up later. But that one, sure. Yeah, and the best bitter I was really looking forward to from a personal point of view. But this is a really crisp, full-flavored Pilsner. It tastes and feels stronger than what it is. Was it four? What is it?
No, it's 5.
5. I think it's right on the 5.
This one's
it's still got a bit of a kick.
Give or take whatever NSLC allows for legal differences in the calculations.
So someone was saying plus or minus, was it 0.5? it was a large margin.
It's a decent range. So like, yeah, I mean, if you have the 5%, it could either be a 4.5 or a 5.5. I'd have to double check what the actual rules are. I try to keep them within the 0.2 or 0.3. But I know I had one of my Good Robot offered up some testing, and I had one of my the cold IPA tested, and it was right on that number. So hopefully 0.5 is the correct one, because I think I say it's a 6, and it was a 6.46 or something like that they found it out at. So yeah, the range is there.
I'm sorry what to do.
Luckily, I'm not selling like 1,500 of them at a time to the NSLC and then have to take them back if they don't match the specs.
Where do you land? I can't remember if I was looking at something that you had posted or someone posted about you, that you were making something like 2 what's the unit, like not barrels, but 2.
Well, I'm only really doing it takes me 2 batches to fill like a 1 barrel fermenter. So each batch I do is about 60 liters. So I do 2 batches and I get between 110 to 120 liters in a fermenter, and then by the time it's switched over to the bright tank and cleared up, ends up being like somewhere in the 100-liter range.
So
per batch.
Is that somewhere between a pico brewery and a nano brewery, or is it just you're just kind of
that'd be hard into whatever's the lowest number of I don't know, measurable brewery.
You might land pico. Hang on.
Yeah, they always call you nano, but nano's like up to like 2,000 barrels or something stupid. So I forget what it is, but I'm well under the pico. I only did I think my first year I only did between 25 and 30 hex. So
you work cut out for you to get to the nano, to get beyond the nano.
Yes. Oh yeah. There's no getting beyond this. I got at least 5 or 6.5, 7 years till like the earliest I can retire. So at that point, if I'm still like myself, then maybe knock out some business plan and expand a bit.
And the photo of your garage there that I was looking at, that doesn't really give you much space to move out of the pico stage. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, I mean, I got the space, I'd say, that Tanner has. I just don't have the fermenters, like because they're pumping out batches for the liquor store.
So many cans going on at once and so many batches.
Yeah, he has a busy garage. Plus, he also has like 1 or 2 shipping containers in his yard, so he has a little better storage scenario than I do. I got an 8x8 kind of walk-in in the garage, and even if you totally filled it with beer, you might fit 1,000 cans in there.
So what I'm learning, a nano brewery is 7.5 barrels up to 15 barrels, and anything lower anything lower than 7.5 barrels is a Pico brewery. So that's anywhere from half a barrel a year to 7 barrels a year. And I feel like I think we need some,
or seven barrels for this size. But yeah, like it'd be like more the production you put out in a year, maybe, or I don't know. I think there's different definitions of it. Like just like if you decided to get on the what is craft beer conversation.
The common definition for a Pico brewery is a brewery that uses a 1 to 3 BBL system.
Yeah, so like 1 to 300 liters or 120 to 360 liters or something like that.
Well, so that's pounds backwards. Anyway, regardless, it's so you kind of I don't want to say burst onto the scene, but we're sort of here we go. And this is the brewery, and it was just last year, 2023, is what we're reading.
Yeah, I started up. I think I got my license somewhere around April last year, and then I think I had the first day selling in May sometime, and somewhere around there.
It's all still mostly sold out of your house.
Oh, yeah, it's all sold out of the house. I still don't have I got to work on a few things to just get the people into the house proper for buying beer, and I don't know if I'll ever have a tap room here, or like I'd love to have like a 1 day a week type thing, kind of like a Tanner Brewing where people could come out and you just open a few hours, but for now it's just local delivery, and maybe someday I'll look into seeing. I have no idea like the quantities that like Harvest Wines or Bishops or anything require, so maybe someday look into that. But
yeah, getting your product at different locations. So.
Yeah, for sure, and for now it's really I have a few of the recipes like my cold IPA that I'm happy with. Maybe just the plain lager, and mostly the Pilsner. Although now I got to examine it a little more. Maybe I'll take down some of the IBUs on it. But yeah, like I just want to get the recipes down, and then after that I'll start really looking into the other distribution. But as of right now, I'm selling what I'm making. So
yeah,
unless I want to get busier, then I'm quite happy doing.
Because I mean, I came out and you opened up the fridge. So this room that's in behind me, it looks like a big room, but then a large inward section of it is can storage, and you had a lot of cans that were in there.
Yeah, there's a decent amount on the shelf. Yeah, I think on the shelves I can fit like maybe 1,000 cans. It's nowhere near full. I took almost my whole stock to the Hubbard's Market this weekend and didn't sell that much, but I'm down to like maybe 4 or 5 flats of different beers, and then a few extra of the ones that I sell through Mexi Roses.
It's still weird to me that my hometown has a farmer's market, but lots of things have changed since I left that place.
Oh yeah. When did you leave that place?
I left it in '96.
Okay, so a few years ago.
No, a couple.
You left after your free university?
I graduated high school, and I decided to not go into the city for university like all of my friends.
Ah, gotcha.
I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to get a little bit further away from everything.
Yeah.
When you grow up in Hubbard's, when there's absolutely nothing in Hubbard's, and you grow up in Hubbard's, that's what happens.
Yeah, there's a lot more now.
I mean, I meet all these musicians now, and they all say, "Oh, we're playing in Hubbard's next week." I'm like, "No, you're not. Come on, nobody plays in Hubbard's. Get right out." Like, what do you mean Matt Anderson is playing at the Shore Club? Get out of town. What's going on here?
Everybody plays the Shore Club now.
I know, and that's to me it was entirely different. I think so. Do we want to go to the amber or the bitter?
Depends. Up to you. Dealer's choice.
I am very interested, and I have a very important question about the party at Mexi's. So I think we should try to move up to the party at Mexi's. And I did look this up. The name around this one was because Mexi Roses is pretty much, and I'm not sure if this is an American thing or just a Canadian thing, but a Canadian thing. There was a staple at a certain point in the 90s where, hey, where are you going to eat tonight? Where's everyone going out tonight? Oh, well, you gotta go to Mexi's. And you always had to go.
On Spring Garden Road, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a huge deal. You all had to go to Mexi Roses. In fact, I've been in different cities. I've been in Moncton. I've been in Fredericton. I've been in St. John, New Brunswick. And all three of them, they all said, you got to go to Mexi's. And it was around that time. And it just seemed to be this maritime thing of, it's the only place that you can get nachos. And I said, what, you mean overpriced chalky nachos that don't taste very good? And everyone's like, yeah, let's go. It's that kind of thing. Yeah. You're drunk enough, you'll eat anything. And so you go to Mexi Roses. Not to dunk on Mexi Roses, but it's not my favorite.
Oh, that's fair to.
But it's the community, it's the gathering spot, and sometimes you got to go to the worst place in town because that's where everyone's at, and it's not the location, it's the gathering that makes it the best place in town.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I like Mexican food, so Mexicali Rose has always been one that I like. And I mean, I guess I can give the political answer anyway because I'm selling beer through there, so you'd never say anything about them. But yeah, I've always liked Mexis.
Oh, we lost Ian for a quick
second.
Real good. Oh, because his sound wasn't working. All right, here we go. We're getting his sound back.
But I booted him off.
He wasn't interrupting me when I'm.
Okay, I guess I gotta go down and grab one of the Party at Mexi. So for that one, I definitely would say if it's not all shaken up, it'll pour nice and clear. But if you pour the bottom in, it definitely has some settling in that one.
All right.
Amber ale.
The amber ale. There's no description of it. I tried looking up a couple things.
Yeah, because it was just amber ale was the description, and also I was in a rush to make the labels, so I didn't want to add my flair to it when it was Mexicali Rose's beer.
James, you've just answered my question. This is really. You're out.
He's just got to go get the can.
Okay. One of the questions I was going to ask was, you are doing everything, are you not, for here, including designing your own cans?
Yeah, I mean, so far everything. I've had some friends help with the beer fest and stuff like that, and people definitely help package a little bit once in a while. But yeah, everything like business wise and all that stuff is all done by me. And CRA, you'll get your tax return soon. But other than that, yeah, everything is.
This would be the one night that CRA's in the CRA. They got their own YouTube.
You bastard!
Yeah, they're in the chat.
Before you do dash off and get that, I grew up. Much of my growing up was done in the 70s, but obviously when I was getting really into music, etc., it would have been in the 80s. So I'm a kind of an 80s child.
Okay.
Right. I don't know how old you are, but you just commented on the cans themselves. Are you smashing the 80s vibe here with your
that's definitely or I guess late 80s, early 90s kind of. Well, it's just the fun, like it kind of reminds me of, and I don't do it enough anymore, but like the old ski jackets kind of thing, like the big old colors, the bright neons and that. And I don't remember if that was late 80s or early kind of 90s, or
it was both.
87, 80.
When that one, or the 80s skateboard vision kind of stuff, like with their.
Yeah. I appreciate this so much because I complain at anyone who will listen about the modern fashion trend of adults wearing black. Why is everything like winter coats went full black about 3-5 years ago, and I noticed it especially when I would drop my kid off. I dropped my daughter off at elementary school. So all the kids run into elementary school and they all hustle out there. And there's just this sea of neon and pastels. And the boys are wearing bright green and hunters, and the girls everyone's just wearing every color possible. And I would look over at all the adults that were dropping everybody off. And it was just this, it was like a funeral. And I thought, what happened? There's joie de vivre going on here, and then 30-40 years later, all of a sudden,
black hides my man boobs.
Maybe, but I argue that tie-dye does too. Tie-dye hides mine, so
or it can make them exemplified, whatever you prefer. But I'm gonna grab a beer, so I'll do the transition and out.
Ian, I know you've heard me complaining about this before with the.
When he put the screensaver on there, I love it. All of a sudden, the hops come in and cover everything up. Did you know it? I was looking forward to that happening again. Have you already cracked your amber ale, Ross?
I have. It is coming through. It's a very caramel-looking, delightful cooler. It's got a bit of a hop to it, I must say. I was not quite expecting the hoppy sneef coming out of it on this end, but again, I'm using this.
I'm finding that about the Pilsner as well. It really, to me, is that Pilsner, just to finish it off, it is like a slightly, and you know what? It kind of does what it says on the can, because just coming back to that Pilsner, James, you literally finished off your description saying, if you usually drink super hoppy beer and want something a bit more crushable, then this will be a great transition. And I think that's fair comment, because it's not quite into IPA territory. It's not right there, slap bang. It's not competing with the IPAs, but it's less hoppy than a traditional lager, or less hoppy than a traditional IPA to me, or the new fad of any IPAs and East Coast IPAs. But it's hoppier to me, hoppier than a traditional Pilsner would be. So it's kind of like you're kind of treading, you've got a foot in both camps, if you will. And it's I like it, but there is a but to me, because I'm going to
no worries at all. Tell me. Yeah, I like real reviews of the beers instead of like, yep, it's good.
It's not a real review. It's my review. It doesn't mean anything.
I like a real your review.
Because it's the IPAs that hurt me a little bit. German Pilsners, and I drank a lot of the Bitburgers and Warsteiners when I was living out there. They really are clear. They're a crystal clear, and they've got a bite to them, a crisp to them. This has that, but it's hoppier, so it's almost pushing towards the IPA. It was almost like a halfway house between the two. I bet there's plenty of people that would say, when they are drinking the IPAs, and you've just kind of introduced this and it goes like, oh, beer doesn't have to be a hoppinating thing. It can also, it doesn't have to blow your head off. It can be crisper than that without being so bitter that an IPA is. And it's I like it, but it's not a brew that I would go for typically.
No, that's it's good. Okay, let's see what Ross has to say.
Oh, about the Pilsner?
Is that the new? That's the new one there.
This is the Mexis.
Oh, nice. It looks like you didn't pour the bottom in, so you're good.
Well, it doesn't fit. Again, I'm using the wrong sized glasses entirely, so I think I'm getting really lucky here with the top 2/3 only. But I drain it down and then I pour the rest in, so I try to make that work. But it smells. There's something else going on in here that I'm really enjoying. It's it smelled a little bit definitely on the hoppy side at first, but now it's really smoothing out. And just as and there's no description of it, so it just says amber ale, 5%. And here's the question. Here's the big question that I had, because in comparing the style of everything, so here's the two cans. You know, the Party Time one, the Pilsner, and the other three actually have this beautiful grid, this Tron-like grid, this 80s style video game kind of interior. But then the character on the Mexi's one looks very similar to Strong Bad from the Homestar Runner online cartoons.
I haven't got that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that one. I know.
Okay, so not on purpose.
Yeah, they gave me that. The mask was like I colored it, but the mask was I guess their kids menu picture or something like that. So obviously, you want to put a kids menu picture on a beer, right? Like.
So the mask. So this character from the Homestar Runner cartoons, he got kind of famous in the mid to late 90s for answering emails. But at one point, they sort of added this additional storyline that he was in a video game, and the background to the video game was that pink grid that almost.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it was green. It was that lime green monochromatic. Famous one. You're talking about the head retention. Look at this. I poured that and it is still sticking. It is having a good time there.
Too gentle, but
yeah. If you were saying that the Pilsner had lost a little bit there, then this has kind of come along and made up.
No, I think they're both doing fantastic on the head retention. But a reset so this is the Mexi. Now I was also kind of thinking, if it's a testament to Mexicalorosis, am I going to get a spice in this, or is it just it's an amber ale and this is kind of the
no, there's nothing fancy, and it's kind of it's supposed to be a traditional amber ale, but it was also that would have been like this. I think this one was probably the second or third set of double batches I made for him. So it's like still was honing in the recipe a bit, and
I smell caramel.
I thought that was my imagination.
No, it's not.
This
We
is-
both said the same thing.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, no, it's actually fairly strong. It's not quite like I know there's some places sell amber malt, and I don't know the numbers on that, but it's a crystal malt that's actually like a 110 instead of the standard like ones you see in some of the older IPAs that are like a I don't know 30 or 60 or something.
Oh wow!
all right.
You hate it.
No,
Yum, 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 yum.
no.
How
See,
is
it's just
the
for me?
but the barley the barley on the tip so the sweetened malty flavor, this beautiful balanced flavor the whole way through. I have never had that barley, the grainy, the cereally sweetness at the end before. That's a
Rebecca,
neat odor.
it's like it's very bocky, and I kind of get that. Yeah. Oh, it's really smooth too. It's kind of really
That's fantastic.
I find it's a little like when you have a smell of it, you really get the caramel, but then when you're drinking it, it's a little drier than I guess what it smelled. You'd expect it to be like a really sweet explosion, but
I'm enjoying this one.
that's good.
Have a look at
That's
this.
why I gave him the more maltier ones.
I just poured the bottom of the can into this,
Okay, so maybe it's sometimes hit or miss.
and it's still pretty clear. You can Zord on me right through that.
Yeah, the color's a little it's a little darker when you pour it in the wider glass.
Oh, okay.
Or my lighting's just I don't know. We can blast it with see if I blast it with lighting. Wipe my face right out. Jesus.
That's not helping. It still looks very red. But I was thinking, this tastes like some of my favorite reds, where they take a red ale and it's like caramelized, so much caramel, so much malt in it that it's like a very rich red ale to it.
Yeah, kind of like what the reds, I guess, should taste like instead of like a lot of the, I don't know, like what Keith's red or whatever, Rickard's red, or a lot drier, more just like lager with
very dry.
a little bit of red in it
and a tiny color of it. Like the flavor doesn't really change much, but the color does. But that is that's so smooth. I love this.
It's so smooth, isn't it? And it's right from the first. As soon as it hits your tongue, right as the last gulp going down your throat, it's so balanced. It's so smooth, and it's caramelly and bocky and barley-ish, and it smells great.
Can I just say,
way in the glass, I'm enjoying this.
That is nothing. That is nothing like any of the beer I've ever drank at a Mexicali Roses. That is ruined. That would be spoiled and wasted on the drunken undergrad standard denizen of Mexi's on a Thursday night at 1 a.m. and they're just saying, yeah, another pitcher of draft over here, and you could literally just sell them piss in a jar.
Yeah, we'll still go with the macros. I know like talking to like this still at Mexi's like the most popular beer I think they have there, and because it's a freaking delicious IPA is the Schoolhouse. I think Vice Principals. That's their big on tap seller there.
Well, that's a good beer. But I remember back in the day when you'd go in and everyone just had glasses of, what was that gross one from Brazil? Brava.
I know which one you're talking
about. With the 3 X's on it.
Oh, like Dos Equis or like.
I thought it began with a B, or like you're and if you wanted to sit, you could tell who had money, because people who thought that they were a bit more bougie were drinking Stella Artois for some reason, and it tasted just as bad. Was I saying it wrong?
No, I'm joking.
The Stella Artois.
Yeah, Artois. It's Stella Artois. Perfect.
But it was those were the standards. That is what I'm used to. People sitting around saying, "Oh yeah, 3 more Coronas over here, please." Glug, 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 glug. And that's what you smash when you're just getting. It's the end of the night and you're having 6 more beer at the tail end of the night at Mexicali Roses. This is way too good for those people.
They still sell those like really big towers that they fill. I don't know if they only fill them with mixed drinks, but maybe they fill them with beer, like like 60 ouncer, or maybe it's more than 60, probably like 72 ounce.
And it's got a little tap on the top of it, on the bottom.
Yeah, a little tap with and the chiller in, but that might just be a mixed drink thing.
I forget what they call them. They still have them at Patty's up here in Wolfville.
Yeah,
we used to get one every
nice.
now and then. And what
they
did
used, they used to do them at up in like Maxwell's Plum or something back in the day, or
we used to call them giraffes, but that's not the correct word. It's a
whatever clever word the bar you went to called it.
Oh yeah, some half Latin, half Spanish.
Yeah.
What do we, Ross? How many amber ales have we had? Because this is
many.
Yes, brown ales, yes, but amber ales, it's unusual.
Heart of Gold from Church.
Yeah, Brewing. Yeah. When I did the when I was talking to the manager there, he just asked him what he wanted. He said an amber. Like if he had said like Mexi or Vesa, I probably would have been selling 5 times as many of the beers. But he wanted an amber, and I made an amber, and it seems to. I don't know. I'm happy with it, but
well, whatever it is that distinguishes an amber from a red or a brown. I don't know what it is, but my God, this is bloody good. I'll have another one. Thank you very much.
Heck yes. Oh yeah, I would definitely have. We'll get that in a picture. Thanks. But it does remind me of, and I feel like there would be some sort of culture shock, especially if you have your drunken crowd late at night. Although if they are drinking Schoolhouse, a couple of the other things, then maybe our guests are right that the Nova Scotian palate is becoming more. Refined, or just leaving the really terrible stuff behind is the hopeful way that I can put it. But every time I go into the liquor store, there's always a bunch of dudes walking out with their Coors Light and their.
The funny thing at the liquor store is when you see the numbers, some of the biggest sellers are the what are they called? Facts. Like Facts is one of the highest selling. So the biggest market, if you want to be if you want to sell out the most that you possibly can, and you just do not give a crap about your main job being feeding alcoholics. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I should be producing a 10% lager, an imperial lager. Just do my lager and then just dump 5 pounds of sugar in it. Make it 10% and sell it, and you'd sell a ton of them.
I mean, we'll get around to the double IPA here, so we will get you to put your money where your mouth is. There is Derek is in the chat saying that the amber is your best. So now, good to hear. I hate learning that because what if? Oh, come on! I have been looking forward to the best bitter since I was at your stand. You had a booth at the Science of Beer exhibit.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I went, ooh, bitter. Yeah, that's our kind of thing. I mean, Ian's accent notwithstanding, we go towards the British pub styles.
Nice. Sorry, go ahead.
James, when you were saying there that, of course, there were the faxes. Now, I did notice also that you were saying that until you started to discover decent beers, you would head straight for the Colt 45s and things as well. Now,
that was the earlier days. I did one. I think I did one for the year before I started the brewery. I guess just 2022. I did one for the homebrew club. Colt 45 was what I brewed for the Christmas beer exchange.
Right.
And it turned like some sort of clone of it, but it turned out surprisingly good when it was fresh, but when it aged 3 months. It tasted almost not like Varsol, but it was just pure alcohol that you tasted when you drank it. Well, but originally it tasted okay.
It depends on what you drink beer for. So I mean, clearly those people that are walking out with their Bud Lights and their Coors Lights, I'm struggling to come up with a reason why they're actually drinking beer, because maybe they just want to refresh themselves. And I do feel like saying to them, have you just go and get some Evian or something. If you're really thirsty, just get some water.
Water.
Tap water is much cheaper.
Right, so you're not bothered about the flavor. But some people, of course, like our good friend Kia, will go in there and get the said Facts because they want to spend, as some of us do, and sometimes I do as well. I want to get pretty much a decent bang for my buck, which is why I started drinking in the first place Moosehead Dry when I arrived here, because it was $6 rather than $5, and I could get it for a case for $2 cheaper. Therefore, you're saving money and getting a bit of bang of buck. But eventually, those people that want to actually have the Goldilocks zone, they want to taste something, they want to enjoy a beer and get some value for money. There is a niche for them as well somewhere, I'm sure of it. But
yeah, for sure. And like, I guess, yeah, I shouldn't just say like those are made for alcoholics, because I mean, like, I can't. So many times, like when I'm leaving a brewery, I'll look and be like, yeah, you know what I want is the double IPA, because I'm only going to have one beer tonight.
There you go.
It's nice to have something that has a little bit of kick.
I will sit around and I would nurse. There was one from Unfiltered we tried. Was it the double or I think it's the double IPA. They've got like an orange something.
Oh, they got the orange.
Yeah.
Shit, what's it called?
There's another one. Not from there, but when I went down to Sackville to the Tapestry beer bar. And he had a couple in from New Brunswick, and one of them was it was something like an 11 or a 13% triple IPA, but it was a vanilla milkshake triple IPA.
Oh,
so it was delicious. It was this creamy, beautiful, tasty thing, and I didn't realize, and I was about halfway through, and I thought, I am slowing down now because I cannot drink this and still be cognitive. And it became bang for your buck. It became what I started referring to as booze math in my early 20s, because you'd go somewhere, and I would look at all the numbers on everything, and I'd say, yeah, okay, I'll have a Mike's Hard Lemonade, please. And I had two of those, and I'm like, great. And someone was saying, so many times there's some human being looking at me holding a Bud Light or a Coors Light or a Labatt or something like that, saying, oh, how can you drink those sissy drinks? Because this is 7% alcohol to your 3.5. Good night.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I definitely have nothing against people that drink the Bud Lights and stuff, because Bud Light,
But why? That's the question. Why?
You can't say that it's a great driving beer, but you can drink all day with it.
We get it, but why would you want to drink that all day and still be sober enough to taste it? That's the question.
I do actually feel this already. I've had not even 2 glasses, not even 2 cans. Rebecca's drunk a little bit of it.
Okay.
I think the Coors Light and the Bud Light thing, I can understand where people bring a whole bucket full or a whole what do they call it, a beer, whatever it is, full.
Yeah, I haven't had a bucket of beer in a while.
to a baseball game, or they're going to sit there and play for 3-4 hours, and they can just haul these things out of a big frozen bucket and drink. Here, have your Coors Light. I can get that, because you don't get as buzzed off it as you do. I have to say it, even already I'm beginning to feel this. And I wouldn't be able to hit a ball. I would not be able to hit or see a ball after 3 or 4 of these.
Then you're not trying hard enough. This is, you got to be
7, you'd be good.
3 double IPAs deep, and that's when the good music starts to happen, as far as I'm concerned. That's when the jam session really gets going.
Can I just ask, are we going to finish with the double IPA? Because that's
it depends on what you want to do. I'm good for anything. So I'm not offended if you don't finish your beer either. So,
we have to do the best bitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you said you were Ian said he was looking forward to that one the most. So
you're sharing with someone else. What are you talking about over there?
Yeah, I am. Rebecca's having a good taste of them. She really enjoyed the amber ale as well. The best bit. The reason why I'm so excited about it, James, is because bitter. I grew up on this stuff. My dad is a bitter man, and he drank it his whole life. And he gave me. I used to dip my fingers in his bitter in the beer garden when I was about 5 or 6 years old and drink bitter. All my friends were all lager drinkers. I was the sole bitter drinker in my teens, and. So when I see ESBs here in Nova Scotia, I inevitably just lap them up. And when I see a bitter, specifically a bitter, I'm quite excited about it. Please don't laugh. Anyone that says 4.2 or 3.8 for a beer, well, I don't know what's going on with that.
Where's the rest of it?
He got censored.
Started reading. Oh yeah, he got frozen. I started reading the back of this one, and I'm really pleased to. And I have more questions about if it's an enthusiasm of history or whatnot. But the back of here is the mod XXX, or the mod triple X best bitter, coming in at 4.2%, and on the back of the can it do saith, a tribute to World War II fighter pilots who delivered beer to the troops in France via external fuel tanks. The tanks were steamed clean, and the modification was known as XXX. Mod XXX, a traditional best bitter that features English hops and a malty backbone, just the way that the troops would have managed to celebrate in such a difficult time. So much going on in there. I love it.
Yeah, apparently the steam cleaning did not help for the gasoline taste, and it's still a gasoline taste. But I bet you they did not give a shit, and they had beers. So
yeah,
that's eventually they did the mods up on some of the Spitfires that weren't Canadian. Well, obviously not Canadian, but and actually had beer kegs hooked to the wings and not just the external fuel tanks. But yeah, Canadians were some of the first to do that. I think I'd have to get really deep into the history on that, but I'll finish off my amber, and then I'll run downstairs. You guys can talk bad about me when I run and grab the beer.
Can do.
Okay, sweet.
Get a load of this guy with his tasty beer. What's up with that?
I know.
The initial smell, I got the same kind of caramel maltiness, very much thicker on the rich malt I got from the can just after cracking the can. Tell me what you're getting there.
No, I'm not getting a caramel this time around. I'm actually getting quite a yeasty, bready smell, Ross. That one, and often we are bowled over by the bready beers. Why are you and I so similar in our preferences?
Well,
it's probably not good.
Because otherwise it would be Siskel and Ebert, and no one really wants to watch two old white guys argue all the time. I think people would much prefer to watch two old white guys agree and talk about our musical proclivities and whatnot. I
really am getting very yeasty smell of this, and
okay, let's see what we're looking at.
Not a bad thing, I might add.
I'm gonna go
I was waxing lyrical there as I lost my connection. I think I was in full flow. Oh, look at the color of it. It's so bitter. Oh, it's a bitter I grew up. And look, I've saved my English beer glass, my British beer glass.
Oh, well done.
Oh, thank you very much.
But I mean, honestly, James, I think you set us up, or you set yourself up for great success by saying immediately, "Oh, the head retention's not very good." So now on every single beer, we're looking at it
when I said it, I wasn't talking about all my beer. I was talking about the Pilsner, and just to be a little fair to myself, I know when I went to the Canadian Brewing Awards the other year, and I was trying all the winning Pilsners and stuff. All those ones are the head disappears fairly quick, but that's also one of the reasons why you have the big Pilsner glass and you can dump it fast and have a nice layer of head on them to start.
I get disappointed when the head goes away. We do talk about that, especially on the darker beers and things like that.
It looks horrible. It looks horrible when you're drinking a beer, even if it's carbonated. But it
so that's the whole thing. It's right in there.
I was about to when I was
I did read it.
where I was in full steam there. Of the four beers you've got here, 1 to 9, there's a couple of 5s, and this 4.2. This is how much I was looking forward to the bitter. It's the weakest one, the 4.2, and this is the one I was really looking forward to the most, just because it's my backbone. I grew up on this British style bitter, and I'm really excited.
A rich malty smell is what I'm getting. Cheers, clonk, off the microphone, the whole thing. Yeah.
Hey.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, and just looking at this, for recipe-wise, the malt bill is fairly similar number-wise, a little less poundage of some of the malts, but the hops are just the traditional, some Fuggles and East Kent Goldings in there.
That is just a glass of malt. Oh, The bitter isn't hitting me anywhere near the back of my face or anything like that. Because sometimes you get that kind of that little. It's like a hoppy kick at the back of the teeth, but I'm not getting it. It's mostly just the malt up front of the mouth feel, very caramelly, very rich, and then I was kind of expecting a kick of bitter at the back as it made its way down the old gullet.
Did you get that?
Did I get the kick?
Yes.
No, I did not get the bitter kick.
You did not?
No, it's almost, I hate to say, it's almost too smooth. This is bitter. I sort of want that little wincing kind of a eek. There it is. There's the record scratch of the, oh, yeah. And I've got plants. There you go.
It's like a brown ale to me, a cross between a brown and a red ale.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a very. It's doing that walking between two different distinctive beer styles.
English
really
pub ale. I've had some things described as English pub ale that taste like this, but not the bitter. You're almost always expecting that little squeak at the back of your throat where something's gone not terribly wrong, but on purposely wrong.
Purposely wrong.
Yeah.
It's at least on BJCP rules kind of thing. It's in at kind of the lower end of the IBU, so I guess that would be maybe a little on the
very low on. Yeah,
it's 30 where it says 25 to 40 is the range. So, and I have heard before that it's best to like pump it up to the end of the range when you're brewing beers if you want to hit the style.
It is probably, even though it's a little stronger than what is typically classed as a session ale in the UK, that you could sit there of an afternoon and have 6 or 8 of these.
I
if
would.
You're so yeah, that's the thing. So it's less. Although 4.2, it's no shrinking violet, even by UK standards, because typically a session ale might be around about the 3.7, 3.8 that you want to sort of settle yourself in for an afternoon.
Not all go to England anymore.
A little strong, which to a Canadian is like, what on earth are you talking about? We don't start our beers until 5.
Yes,
but that is just the way it is. It's really, really easy to drink. It's.
I think that my only complaint, where it says bitter on the can, it's too easy to drink. I would sit down and have 5 of these, where usually it's when you get the ESB, you get it on purpose, because when you drink it, you think, oh, this is delicious, but oh, right, there's that bit at the end that tells me, stop drinking now. You need to be a responsible adult for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
There's a reminder.
But
this doesn't remind you to be responsible. This just says, drink up. There you go.
My favorite ESB here on planet Nova Scotia, and I think it's probably yours as well, Ross, and is the ESB by Propeller. And I think
that's what I would say for sure too.
Right. I think we did try one that came. You've got a better memory for this than me, and there was something that came damn close, if it wasn't even on a par with it, in the last 6 or 8 months ago. I remember thinking, oh my God, this is giving ESB a run for its money, and I wish I could remember it. But that is an ESB. That's a more alcoholic. It's that
Extra.
It's that. Yeah, that's right. And for a session bitter, you don't need that. You don't want that extra. You don't want 0.8 or 1% more, because that's what you want from sitting on the deck or sitting in the pub on a Saturday afternoon watching the horses run round and having 4 or 5 pints is what most people would have done when they were drinking this style of beer. I like it. It's really smooth. It's really easy to drink off of the back of the slightly more alcoholic and stronger profile flavors.
It's patio pub beer, I think, when you're at the pub and just slowly cruising through that. You would not even notice by your third.
The best bitter.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I find that like this one and the amber, they're not the best sellers by any means, but they're some of the ones that like the people that buy them come back for them as well. So that's usually good. Good to know that. But
easy to drink.
Yeah, well, aren't there? People like their 5% plus alcohol. It seems to be a sales point.
Well,
it's a light, but it's still good.
Speaking of 5% plus, Ian, is your soul prepared?
Yeah, for
9%.
Don't worry, it won't taste like 9%.
Uh-oh.
And it's kind of more of the I guess new age kind of DIPA where it's a lot fruitier and I guess whirlpool hoppier than the your traditional DIPAs and the delicious ones like the I don't know, like the boxing rocks or your propeller DIPAs and stuff like that.
Well, you say that, but what the boxing rock, that's the Vickers Cross?
I think that's Vickers Cross.
It's and even the propeller one, I'm sort of it's kind of all right, but no, I like the really creamy, juicy, grapefruity, and you get right into the citrusy one. So I am curious. So on the DIPA, the wrap party, DIPA is coming in at 9% for extra strong beer. You get all the words on there, but on the side of the can, that's a wrap. The work day is done, and you're ready to relax. The perfect I'll just have one beer for your enjoyment.
Yeah.
This double IPA is the life of the party, like a rogue confetti cannon exploding with fruit, citrus, and pine notes. Gather your crew, blast the music because you did good. Available now inside this can, assuming this isn't an empty can. I love how you got the little slaps of humor on each of the descriptions as well. It's
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. That one, the confetti cannon thing, I can almost guarantee you, I started that description with a ChatGPT search, and then I just added my the flair to it, because ChatGPT, they pump, so you can just ask it, be like, hey, can you pump out a description of a beer that features, well, in this case, like say Magnum Citra Nectaron, and I guess Brew One I use too, which is a little pineapple-y. So it's like you can just tell them what it is, and it comes out with, I guess, menu-worthy descriptions, but they're usually a little more, I'd say, pretentious than what I'd normally put on.
Oh, really?
On a display.
Oh, that's too bad. No.
Jake, may I inquire? You're still in the Air Force, eh?
Yep.
Where are you based?
Shearwater. Been Shearwater pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
Working life.
Okay. So, piss off early. It's Friday at the Squadron Bar. Do you have your kegs available for fellow squadron members?
I need to do more of that. I should do it, but with liquor licensing, I can't just like say, hey, here's a keg. Feel free to like just serve it or sell it at the bar or whatever. I need to get it in there via the licensee and.
Right.
And where like I'm an officer, I don't want to push. You can't just go in there and like in uniform be like, hey, buy my beer. Like I don't want to.
Can't? What's the military for if we can't do that? What are we doing any of this?
I don't know. I guess I'm on the wussy side for the conflict of interest worries. So I'd like to do. I got to do a tasting sometime, and then if people say, hey, we want to get this beer in, and then they get it in, then I'll be down with that. But yeah, I've asked a few times and. I didn't push it.
Ross, may I just give a minute here of one of my little stories that I was in the Air Force myself for 23 years back in the Royal Air Force, and it's one of the reasons why I find myself here in Canada. But when I was based in Belgium in Shape in 2002, 2003, something like that, you may be aware of that place. It's the headquarters of the Allied powers in Europe, and there was like 70 different nationalities, give or take, that are represented in that place. And I'm in communications. That was my thing. So I was sat there, pretty much like Ross. I was on the IT help desk for a couple of years. I found myself there.
Okay.
No IT background. I won't even go into that. But our squadron bar of a Friday used to do the same thing, and we had a good number of international representatives that were working on the communications section, and we used to finish a decent time, maybe 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and go to the squadron bar. And because there were so many international representatives from all across Europe and from North America and from across Asia and various, one afternoon they decided they were going to, at the squadron bar, put on some international beers for everyone to sample. Okay, so we pitch up at this bar, and there are, I don't know, 18 or 20 different beers, international, Croatian, Czech, German, of course, the UK, North American across the way. There was...
Oh no, and he's frozen just at the wrong time entirely. But it's a good chance for me to welcome Brewing Bad in the chat, just saying howdy gents, and saying a hey out to James. But I clicked on Brewing Bad, and that is Brewing Bad out of Tennessee. Oh, there you go. You got that too.
Yeah, he got kicked out the second someone from Tennessee came in.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Did he get booted on the?
No, he booted himself out. That's just his connection.
He started giving out.
He experiences. It happens to men of his age. He experiences a connectile dysfunction sometimes.
Yeah.
That was bad. I am back. I'll finish this off.
You are. Okay. You're at the bar, and it's everyone, beers from Croatia and UK.
Right across Europe and North America. Parts of Asia as well, and one by one, and we were sitting there trying all these various things, and then eventually this German guy walks in there, and he walks along, and I was standing there with a couple of Americans, and we were drinking a Czech Budvar or something. Anyway, something extraordinary, and this German guy walked up, and we watched him, and he surveyed all the 18 to 20 that were beers there, and he picked up the Budweiser. Okay, and the American guy went, "Yay!" He said, "Of all the beers you could go for, you went for the American beer." And this German guy turned around and said, "Yeah, I'm the designated driver."
Nice.
And that's all I got. Good night. No, I'm looking forward to double IPA.
Okay, I better transition out and go grab my double IPA.
Oh, okay. Yep. I fit it all in my glass. He's gone away with his this flurry of hops. It's like Batman, but Hop Man, where he just drops a hop bomb and jumps out of there.
Oh, you've already poured it.
Comedy shows. Oh yeah. It's okay. I'm okay. This is you telling me that I shouldn't be drinking it right away. That's fine. Let me.
No, that's fine.
Read the can. I've done the thing. This is this is the wrap party one. But I can tell you that, especially experiencing some things in the film and the TV industry this past summer, that it has occasionally said, "Oh, that's a wrap for so and so, and that's a wrap for this person. Oh, we're wrapped for the day." And I do like and appreciate a lot of the, the lingo that goes into the movie and the TV industry, and how it's all still 60, 70 years old. I forget what "that's a wrap" means. I should look that up.
It means it's done. Immediately, the smell off of this, Ross, is it's like greeting an old friend now. You did not like IPAs. And then we thought, about 18 months ago, we thought, oh my God, the double IPA, we're going to hate this. And clearly we didn't. We thought, oh, what on earth is this? This is crazy. Why are we liking this way more than we liked it? And we've come to love double IPAs, have we not? And now I'm pouring this one and giving this a sniff. And it's like, oh, I cannot wait. I can't wait to get this in my stomach.
Very citrusy. And he has said pineapple, so I'm looking forward to this. Is James ready to pour and sip? And are you on the same page?
Yeah, I've already poured, and it looks one of the clear ones.
Yep, mine too, and it's the whole thing that's in there.
And last
smell.
Just trying to think. Okay, this is a 24th of June. It was packaged, so it hasn't. It's a couple months old, but not too.
I think you'll find a 9% is not gonna go bad or anything. That's the stronger ones we find.
None of them ever go bad. They just go dull after months.
Oh my! I didn't realize that. Maybe that's why we like triple IPAs after a few months, anyway. Right. Cheers to the double.
Hi-yo.
If you
I'm
could
going to be feeling this after, not going to lie.
She was doing that thing. She was going to take a little taste, and she was doing the, oh, here it comes. It's IPA. And then she took a little sip, and she went, and her face immediately lightened. She went, because that's what people do.
You're expecting pain, Armageddon, and just the hoppiest of hop kind of things, and no, that's there's the pineapple's in there. There's some citrus. The other kinds of things. It's a very so sweet. Usually where the hops are killing you at the back of the teeth, you're sort of like ooh hoppy. I'm almost kind of ooh. This orange juice is almost too sweet for me right now. Kind of reaction. My.
I still
it's the perfect beer.
It's still black magic, Ross. It's still black magic how double the hops and then doubling the malt at the same time can produce something
that helped. Where someone explained if you double the hops to get it stronger, you have to double the malt in order to balance it. And for some reason, the balancing at the double levels and the triple levels is so much better than the balancing at the single well, to us with our holy cow, get this hop flavor out of our mouth kind of thing.
Then James, does the sweetness then override the bitterness and the of the hoppiness of the hops as a result of that?
It seems to in a bit in these ones. I'm gonna bring up. Okay, I got the wrap party up. Yeah, there's a good amount. Like I say, there's a good amount of hops in these, but like the amount of hops that goes in is still. It's only like what do we got here? 4.75 grams per liter in the aroma and 4.25 in the dry hops, which means absolutely nothing. But like on the pounds per barrel, it's not crazy. And the numbers at the small batch I'm doing isn't crazy, but
grams per liter is not a lot.
No, well, it's a lot. Like you get into some of like if you look at I don't know, like and my only examples are mostly from some of the YouTube sites, but like the tree houses and places like that, like I think they're doing upwards of like 15 grams per liter for some of their crazy, well, call them crazy hazies and stuff like that. Like it's a ridiculous amount of hops that go in there, and I keep trying to push it up. A lot of the podcasts you listen to say after 8 grams per liter, you can't really discern the extra, if you know what I mean. But I mean, it'd still bring flavor, just in different amounts. I don't even know if I'm answering the question you said. I don't think I am.
The double IPA's kicked in.
Yes, it has.
Well,
after just one.
Can I wander back because I've done a little bit of research over in my other screen.
Question.
And a wrap party. I was very curious about where that's a wrap came from because I've done a little bit of film and TV work, and they always say, "Oh, that's a wrap for everybody and whatnot." Wrap is it's not like you're wrapping things up. Apparently, 'tis an acronym. Would you believe? For where is it? Wind, reel, and print. Those are the 4 things you do at the end of filming. And again, this is from a 70-year-old Hollywood tradition of what you do when you finish filming is you wind, you reel, and you print. And that's a wrap, everybody. That's all, 3 things in the word and.
Is that genuine internet, like a genuine...
That is 100% true internet fake news. Yes.
Good.
As genuine as you can glean.
I can only assume that you're going to finish this podcast with those very words as a result of that, because you're nothing if not predictable.
Well, absolutely. Ask anyone I know. Now, yeah, because immediately I thought, well, now I'm going to have to do the exact opposite of what you're asking of me. This
I don't know. I'm going on. I just had to consult ChatGPT on that, and it was just talking about the celebration at the end of the filming project, and then at the end I had to ask it 3 times. Are you sure that wrap isn't an acronym? and it said the idea that RAP stands for wine, reel, and print is a common misconception.
Oh,
but it's not accurate. While it is a creative and plausible interpretation, there's no historical evidence of industry standard that supports it. But I have no clue whatsoever. I'm just going with what ChatGPT told me, and I know ChatGPT is full of shit at least 40% of the time. So,
all right.
Sorry,
I have asked my artificial intelligence over here for a description for a basic craft beer double IPA. Are you ready for this? I'll just read it to you verbatim.
Okay,
Introducing our double IPA, a hoppy masterpiece that will tantalize your taste buds. With a rich golden hue and creamy white head, this beer boasts a robust aroma of citrus, pine, and tropical fruit. The first sip explodes with a complex blend of hop flavors featuring notes of grapefruit, orange peel, and a hint of sweetness. The finish is crisp and dry with a lingering bitterness that will leave you craving another sip. At 8% ABV, this double IPA packs a punch, but its smooth, balanced flavor makes it a joy to drink. Cheers.
So there's nothing that would not sell it with that description. It does a good job.
That's pretty
selling
good.
the beer, whether or not there's any grapefruit or whatever in it, it doesn't matter. That's gonna sell the beer.
Citrus, pine, I don't care at this point.
But you can also just say this beer will get you fucked up and it will sell.
The thing I take with it is it actually is 9%, not 8.
Oh, that's the only thing I got wrong. But I didn't even tell it what beer. I was just saying a generic. Give me a generic double IPA. But
let's see.
In so far as the language, and you are right that you could just say that, and I find that Unfiltered does that. Unfiltered, they're on North Street, but their website is literally, and I'll bleep myself a little bit here, with uneffingfiltered.ca, I think, is their website.
Yeah, that's our website.
And it all of it, it's all. I enjoy the fact that they lean into that, because for some reason it hasn't been yet established that if the legal age of drinking is 19, then can we not just start selling things and making things kind of 19 plus appropriate? I don't know how else to put that, but can we not just assume that everyone's oh no, we have to make this very, very proper and conservative and blah, 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 blah.
We've realized it's good for 19-year-olds and older. Therefore, we're throwing boobs on the can from now on.
Well,
I do
to a point.
Whenever you go to check out
boobs and wieners. There you go. Yeah, we'll start the boobs and wieners brewery. That'll be our next one.
Have you noticed when you go to check out any craft brewing websites? Or any brewing websites here in Nova Scotia, or maybe in Canada, or I don't know, you have to attest that you are in fact over 19 years of age before you visit their website. So I'm assuming that they think that you can, by osmosis, get drunk off of the screen just by looking at the cans of beer, rather than actually drink as well. It's really crazy where you have to prove or put your date of birth in before you look at beer.
I'm pretty sure that back when I was in high school, you were not allowed to wear alcoholic products advertise. You could product advertise for like Nike and stuff like that. That's fine. Shoes and sweatshops and child labor. Yeah. That's okay. But alcoholic products is a no. So you still, as far as I know, in Nova Scotia, you still are not allowed to wear like a shirt that says Bud or Bud Light or an Alexander Keith's shirt. You can't wear that to a public school.
I've had my kids have had Party Time Brewing shirts to school.
Nice.
The 7-year-old's gone to class, and one of his friends his dad bought one of the hats. And again, this is bad example again, but the schools gave out $10 farmers market certificates to kids when they like at the end of the school year. And at the Hubbard's Market, my first time there, my hats that Ross is wearing there are $10 a piece. And like 8 or 10 kids came with their certificates and gave me the $10 things and bought the hats. So there's a lot of kids around Hubbard's walking around Party Time Brewing hats.
I mean, if you just if it just says Party Time, that's a pretty cool hat.
Yeah,
Brewing Bad in Tennessee.
Let's do apparel.
Brewing Bad's is pointing out that it's 21 is the legal age in the U.S. So, and it's been that way. So does that mean that for the first 2.5 to 3 years of your university, like are brewing and drinking shirts banned on a university campus unless you're a senior? That seems very.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the fashion police that go around saying, how old are you then? I'm 20. Take off that Corona shirt. No, you can't be wearing that Corona. And I don't know why all of the fashion police at all university campuses in the United States are all British from the 1920s.
James is actually wearing. I did notice that you're wearing a Together We Brew T-shirt. That did not pass me by. Now, okay, go ahead, Ross.
We've had one Together We Brew, and I can't keep up. I know it happens just once a year, but I'm like, nope. It's too frequent. It's too frequent for me to pay attention to.
Are you involved, James?
I did volunteering twice before I took part in it. So I did 2 last year and the year before volunteering for it, and then this year I did just was there with my brewery. So didn't do any of the organizing or anything. I think that was organized by Cam at Britain Brewing. I think I could be fucking horribly off with this, but
but was that this year's though? Was that the 2024?
Yeah, I did this one at the 2024 one, but
spring. Okay. And that church is often the, I don't want to say instigator, but sort of the centralized, hey, we'll organize, or am I wrong in that as well?
No, they did the Together We Brew was, I think they do a brew day beforehand. So this year it was at Stillwell where they all brewed a beer. Yeah. And last year it was at church. Good. So there's always I think once a year they do a collaborative brew, and I joined the association just after they did the collab, so I missed out on the day of going to the brewery thing, which sucks. But
wait, was this the Craft Brewers Association, the CBANS?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize you were in that.
CBANS is Together We Brew.
I'm still trying to talk to representatives. I want a CBANS representative in here, and I want to talk to them. I just not to like. Again, we are not gotcha journalism in any way, shape, or form. we are just kind of, yeah. Oh, we've got you now. Haha, take that, CBANS representative. You once said that you would never have a brewery and a garage in Cheat Harbor, and booyah, there is one.
Yeah.
For a very short period of time. But the whole concept is, I just want to talk to everybody. And I've invited NSLC representatives. We've got the Good Cheer Trail. I've reached out to them, and I want to talk to everybody because I want to make it. It's so easy to advertise Nova Scotia craft beer because I think maybe once we've tasted one, and all of our 300 and some beers that we've had, but we've tried one and we said, yeah, it's not very good. But it's
no, that's fair. Like yeah, I don't know which. Yeah, like if I had just packaged up my light lager before I'm working on fixing that up, and maybe I don't know if it's a dumper or not, but like yeah, I tried it the other day. I was almost ready to package, and then it tasted a little, we'll say appley, which means the fermentation didn't go as planned. So I'm gonna try to gear up another batch of yeast, and you throw in like kind of a starter into the batch and hope the new fresh yeast will kind of finish off fermentation, and then maybe it'll taste good, maybe it won't, maybe it'll just be one I throw in kegs, and then anytime the people that want to mooch beer off me come over, then that's a great keg or two for them to suck off of.
My daughter had an appointment. We were in Windsor today, and I was actually about half a block away from Hilltop Hops. So I wandered into Hilltop Hops, and I had a red ale. It's really delicious. And we started a conversation because someone talked about the strong ales. They said, oh, try the doubles and the triples and the whatnot. And someone said, well, what about the barley wine? And I finally said, because I have not been able to ask anyone this. I said, is barley wine technically considered beer? And the answer was yes. And I'm like, well, damn it. Now we got to go and drink some of the barley wines that are available and make that part of the... But I honestly, I think I've got 2 in the
have a barley wine episode.
God.
4 or 5 barley. You can probably do 6 barley wines.
You should see us after our 2 triple IPAs in a night. That's a good time.
Yeah.
That's when the music breaks out.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single night. It is honestly, James, I'm not surprised. I was really hoping and expecting to taste some really delicious beers tonight, and all 4. I would like to come down, and I will hopefully get some more of these, and we'll talk more about some Party Time Brewing in the future as well. But thank you so much for being a part, agreeing to come on here and just chat with us tonight as we do this on a weekly basis, and for sharing your beers that you make and these recipes. This is I'm always astounded, especially when it comes from one person alone.
Am I still here, Ross?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Still here.
Got the sweet coaster.
I had to ask about this. I was up at Ross's place. By the way, James, you've been stuck in a pose for about 3 minutes since I came back. I didn't know whether or not
I think that's your internet connection. Or was Ross stuck? Was Ross moving, or was I just enjoying the not talking kind of?
Right. Whoops, I've dropped it.
Man,
anyway, what I was trying to ask was, when I picked that up earlier on from Ross's place, he said, I think that might be a 3D printer thing. Do you do that too?
Oh, yeah, I mess around with, I don't know what I got here. I made some blocks for one of the fermenters that I had to hacksaw I ended up having to hacksaw the feet off of it, and then I couldn't drill it out. But when I hacksaw the feet, you can't see it probably, but
I can't see it.
My feet crap.
Oh no!
And then you can do like little toys for the kids, like this is like a Lego.
Like handguns you can get through a metal detector. Toys for the kids. I know what you're talking about.
You got a little what is it? Among Us toy.
All right.
I think I got some. Oh, and then I just designed up some almost like airlock things for the home brewings for what do you call it? Tri-clamp. Like I just geared up a few tri-clamp.
This is massively frustrating because I can't see any of those things you're describing, but I've never told anybody.
You just gotta watch the YouTube.
Just imagine a Glock.
I've never seen anybody with a 3D.
Easter
I've never met anyone that has
blue.
one. Oh,
yeah, it's pretty cool what you can do with them.
Can we touch base afterwards and you can show me those things because I'm so frustrated. I can't see.
Just watch the repeat of the live stream like you always do.
I think they showed up on the live stream. It's just your connection for some reason is weird. Like one of the only useful ones I made was like one of the fermenters didn't have like a connection that I could hook on my ZOM, which is like a carbonation tester. So I just like designed this thing up, which is just a little thing that it clips on or something.
Oh, that's really cool.
And the 3D programs are I've been playing with them for a long time. I'm not good at them by any means, but it's pretty geometric, the stuff that you do with them for brewing. So it's kind of neat to.
I can't imagine there's any other brewery in Nova Scotia, let alone, in fact, in Canada, let alone Nova Scotia, that prints their own. What's the word? Posters. Prints, not prints them, but that's the thing I just said.
Yeah, I gave away quite a few at the beer fest.
I love the IPA. I love the double IPA. I really like the bitter. The Pilsner isn't quite for me, and the amber ale is freaking delicious. Oh. Thank you so much. I've got to leave. I'll see you. Joel. Thank you so much. Good night.
Yeah, sweet. No, good to talk to you. And see, when is Ross cutting off at the same time?
No,
or does he just leave?
This is just part of our gag. This is just our thing. He just he leaves it, and it's I don't know. I still find it funny.
Nice.
But no, thank you, James, so much for being here. I mean, I wish we could throw as much attention your way as you've probably thrown ours, but we're just...
Oh, there's no attention wise needed. Yeah, just anyone that watches this now or in the future, let's go subscribe to Drink No Social Dry.
4 out of 4.
Like people we'll get you on I'll do after I got to do a few more videos on my channel, and then once I hopefully get the momentum back up, we'll get you and Ian if you want to come on.
I would be happy to.
And you
can
do it on my stream, and we can maybe up your
the whole
subscribers.
Mostly the purpose of this has always been just the fact that when we get together, we realize that we like several things. One of them being craft beer, and the two of us, we just never shut up. So it's just, I thought, well, what can you do with an ability to talk incessantly and never stop? Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to just go on the internet and just start saying things all the time, and then we trade Michael Caine quotes for an hour and a half.
No, that's good. It's fun. Like watching your podcast. Like you guys always talk really well about the beer. You give your honest opinion too, which is sometimes I don't know if it's always rare, but like sometimes people aren't gonna do anything but say like, oh yeah, fucking delicious or whatever. So
it feels important to us that it's more than just I don't like it or I like that one.
Yeah.
But it's I like that one because it's got the maltiness, because it's got the bitter aftertaste, because it's got that interesting little, that beautiful juiciness that comes in that you just catches you in your teeth, and it's doing everything that it says on the can. So it's that ability to continually not shut up about all of the opinions that accidentally makes it very objective in some ways.
Yeah, no, I do enjoy that Ian just walks away from the screen instead of just logging out of the instead of leaving the
Which
call.
is funny because he's literally dropped connection 3 times through this, but this one it's a solid connection of him just walking to somewhere else in his house. I do appreciate that. But so
no, that's good. I'd be more than down if you're ever bored on a Tuesday night and you don't want to just drink beers that are from the liquor store. Like when I got 4 more beer, I'll roll on and talk. I love chatting, and this is it's a nice little getaway from the family. I mean, I love.
Try not to agree with you.
Yeah, it's nice to have a few beers. And
what you got to do is the easiest thing to do is to go to partytimebrewing.square.site and get some have a look at what's there from James, and then make your orders. Pop into his pop into your shop.
Yeah, or basically just contact me.
Location.
Like basically, if you go to partytimebrewing.com, it'll forward you to the.
Oh, sweet. Okay, that's way easier.
And that's and then it'll you can either order online. If you don't live in the direct Mount Uniake area, which most people don't, then the best thing you can do is just contact me, James at partytimebrewing.com, and we'll figure out a way to get beer to you. Well, it might not be the next day, but we can get some out to you.
We're excited about that. It's the new Mount Uniake population of 500,000 just last year.
Beers, come out to the Mount Uniake, I guess, Artisans Market in 2 weeks on September 15th at the Uniake State Park. I'll be there with hopefully 3 fresh batches of IPA, and I don't think I'll have a new DIPA then, and I only have like 10 left now. But I
will try my best to be there. My wife likes to visit some of these markets, and we've been to a few thus far. But regardless of that, you can also catch James on his YouTube channel. Is that just Party Time Brewing on the YouTubes?
Yeah, at Party Time Brewing. I think I'll find you on that. And I got a lot of. I don't know. I try to keep it amusing. Homebrew. I'm not the most serious.
Yes. But I learned a lot just from the last video. And then if you want to stick with us idiots, we're over here at youtube.com/@drinknsdry. You can find our podcast at all the podcasty places, or if you look up Drink NS Dry and most things, we're I think what's the thing? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Even I put some of the excerpts up there, and then the edited versions.
You got some good podcasts. You got to if you have a long commute, I recommend listening to the podcast. So you guys have some good good conversations with the brewers. And just as another point that I didn't mention yet, if I do make that beer for the alcoholics, like the 10% lager, the Imperial Lager, I'm gonna call it NS Dry, and then your podcast is just all about.
Oh, I like that. Feel free to use our logo, which I drew in MS Paint in about 2.5 minutes.
Just NS. I'll call it Nova Scotia Dry. And by the way, I do not like calling something like a Nova Scotia IPA or Nova Scotia Lager or Nova Scotia blah 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 because it's like the brewery claims the.
How about the
claims that source for there?
The blue and yellow tartan.
Blue and yellow tartan.
You just kind of sneak around the Nova Scotia thing, but call it something that everyone knows is Nova Scotian. You know what I mean? That's how blue nosers get away with stuff. We're all called blue nosers.
Oh yeah, no, like I mean, I don't need to do that. I just like to call it Nova Scotia Dry, just because then your podcast is just all about drinking my beer, and then we'll just. I'll put your and Ian's face right on the can, like just.
That's your funeral. We definitely have. It's why it's a podcast. We have faces for radio.
I can deep fake a podcast with how horrible you. Oh wait, come here, Jack. Look, I got a mini me right there. So now we're going there. What do you think of this beer?
Oh,
no, definitely not.
My daughter's.
He plays.
I've been on the Oculus for like 10 hours.
He likes the VR.
Exactly.
He plays the VR. And
that's 2.5 more hours than it should be.
Yeah.
Did you know that you can go into an Oculus and you can actually be within the world of Mario 64? VR.
What? Is there like a metaverse with Mario 64?
No, but you can just be within that game. And there was a guy, and he has a YouTube video of him trying to be within that VR world for 24 hours, trying to beat the game in VR.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really weird. The poor guy. Anyway, I can talk about everything. So, thank you for joining us tonight. And we're here every week at 8 p.m. on Tuesday evenings, the YouTube channel live. And we'll see you next week.